Now, good evening, students.
Good evening,
Evening,
sir.
sir.
Good evening, sir.
So here, the first chapter is clear the atomic structure. The first one is the atomic structure. Then normally, the first one, generally everything is made up of simply matter. Everything is made up of matter. And what does it contain means, according to John Dalton, the matter is made up of simply the atom.
Atoms.
Atom is indivisible or simply uncuttable. The meaning of atom is indivisible or uncuttable. But the later experiments proved that the atom can be further divided into more than 100 particles. In those 100 particles, the few are the important particles are there, and which are the fundamental particles: electrons, protons, and next one is simply neutrons. The electrons, protons, and neutrons. The electrons discovered based on the cathode rays, and the protons discovered based on the anode rays, and the neutrons discovered by James Chadwick. Okay, and the electron is having negative charge here. The proton is having positive charge, and the neutron has simply the no charge at all. And the mass of proton and neutron are nearly same, and the mass of electron is very less, 1 by 1837 times to that of mass of the proton, which can be neglected here. In this one, the important point here is you should remember the E by M ratio of cathode rays. E by M ratio of cathode rays 1.75882 into 10 power 11, clear the coulomb per kg. This is E by M ratio of electron or cathode rays. The E by M ratio of electron or cathode rays simply clear the same. And when you take any element you take, the E by M ratio is simply the same only. But in case of anode rays, E by M ratio is not constant. So what does it mean? All the elements can produce cathode rays, but all the elements can produce electrons, but all the elements cannot produce protons. So therefore, the protons produced by the H plus are the protons produced by only hydrogen. So 1H1, only 1H1, when taken in the discharge tube, it can produce clear the protons. Please remember here, which of the following element can produce electrons? All the elements can produce electrons. Electrons are nothing but cathode rays. But all the anode rays are not protons, and the protons produced by only protium 1H1. Even 1H2 also will not produce, only 1H1 will produce clear the proton. Okay, this one is the electron, proton, and neutron. The next immediate question was, and how clear that these electron, proton, neutrons placed in an atom. After discovery of electrons, protons, and neutrons, the question in front of the scientists was how these electrons, protons, and neutrons arranged. To explain this one, the atomic models were given. Which one? Simply atomic, the models were given. In the atomic models here, the first atomic model was given by the J.J. Thomson. The first atomic model was given by simply the J.J. Thomson atomic model. And this is also called as watermelon model, plum pudding model. And according to this J.J. Thomson model, so in any clear the atom, any spherical atom, if we take here in any spherical atom here, the positive charge is spread clear the throughout the atom. So whatever the positive charge is, they spread throughout the atom like this one. And the next one is the negatively charged electrons, and this is positive charge, the protons spread throughout the atom, and the negatively charged electrons embedded into the clear the atom, just like seeds in the watermelon. If you cut the watermelon, we can see red color pulp. Inside the red color pulp, we can see the seeds. Like seeds in the watermelon, electrons embedded means embedded into the positively charged atom. At the time, neutrons were not discovered. Please remember here the J.J. Thomson atomic model given based on only the electrons and protons. At the time, neutrons were not discovered. So, but here the drawback of this one is he could not explain the stability of the atom and how the positive and negative charges can be placed together. So that could not be explained by the J.J. Thomson, because when you place positive and negative charges side by side, they get neutralized. But here, how the electrons and proton charges will not be neutralized, that was not explained, and he could not explain the stability of the atom. So therefore, he failed. And after this, the Rutherford has given his atomic model. The next one is here the Rutherford's atomic model. This is also called as Rutherford's the atomic model. The Rutherford's atomic model, also called as simply the planetary model, and next one is this is nucleus model. The based on the alpha scattering experiment here, based on the alpha scattering the experiment. in the alpha scattering experiment here, the gold foil is taken. The thickness of the gold foil is the 5 into 10 power minus 5 centimeters, and the 5 centimeters gold foil is the hammered into 5 into 10 power minus 5 centimeters. Very very thin gold foil is taken. Why the gold is chosen here means the gold is highest malleable metal which can be drawn into very very thin sheet, and the source of alpha particle. And what is alpha particle means? It is nothing but helium nucleus 2He, here the 4 plus 2. The alpha particle has 2 units, here the positive charge at the 4 units mass. 2 units positive charge, and simply the 4 units clear the mass is there for this alpha particle. And the next one is, so alpha particle is positively charged here. This is, we can take this lead chamber here, the source of, we can take polonium the source of alpha particles. When the alpha particles passed through the gold foil, he observed a few important clear the points. What are those means? The most of the atom is hollow, and the most of the alpha particles passed through this one without any deviation or deflection like this one. Most of the alpha particles passed through this without any deviation or deflection like this one, but the very few alpha particles deviated with the certain angle, the small angle like this one. The few alpha particles deviated with some angle, and the few particles deviated with clear the more angle, and the very 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 few particles 1 in 20,000 exactly clear the bounced back. Now based on these clear the observations, he concluded that the most of the atom is hollow and spherical in shape, and as the alpha particles, the positively charged alpha particles repelled by a small part of the nucleus means the nucleus also having which are simply clear the positive charge. Because of the positive charge at the nucleus, alpha particles repelled by this one. And next one is the 1 in 20,000 exactly bounced back. And based on this one, he concluded that the density of the nucleus or the center is very, very high. So therefore, the protons and neutrons together present only at the center, which are called simply the nucleons. Some of the protons and neutrons in the atom called simply nucleons, and A is mass number or the nucleons. Protons plus neutrons together is known as mass number or simply the nucleons, and electrons revolving around the nucleus with high speeds, just like the planets around the sun, just like planets around the sun. Okay, so therefore here this is Rutherford's atomic model, and the conclusions: the nucleons present at the center and electrons revolving around the nucleus, and the drawbacks of this one. Okay, again here the important drawbacks of this one is, according to classical laws of physics, any moving charged particle should lose energy continuously. Any moving charged particle should lose energy continuously. So even electron also charged particle, it is moving continuously. Therefore, the electron should lose energy. And any moving charged particle should lose energy continuously. For example, if you walk continuously for a long time, or for any time, you should lose energy continuously. A moving ball you take, anything you take, if it is moving means it should lose some energy. So here, the according to this one, electron also charged particle. When it moves, it should lose energy continuously. But it is not losing energy. Why it is not losing energy? So that was not explained by the Rutherford. And the one more drawback is, if it loses energy continuously, the spectrum must be, we'll discuss what is spectrum later. Spectrum must be a continuous spectrum, but he got discontinuous spectrum, but he could not explain why discontinuous spectrum is formed. Second one is the stability of atom, could not explain why the electron is not losing energy, he was not explained. Okay, he could not explain why the electron is not losing energy, and these are the drawbacks of the Rutherford's atomic model. Main postulates are, the most of the positive charge is present in the center, the total mass is concentrated only at the center. Electrons are revolving here around the nucleus, just like planets around the sun. And here the gold is highest valuable metals. And alpha particle, 2 units of positive charge and 4 units of mass will be there. Okay. So this is about simply the rule of force alpha. Yeah.
Sir, could you say please the difference between the alpha particles and the nuclear helium atom?
Difference between
Alpha particle and the helium atom.
Yeah. Now see, from helium nucleus, from helium atom, generally the helium, if we take, the helium contains 2 electrons, 2 protons, 2 neutrons. From this one, if we take out 2 electrons, helium plus 2, 0 electron, 2 protons, 2 neutrons. Mass 4. Mass 4. Charge 0. Charge plus 2. So alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus. Alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus. Alpha particle helium nucleus. And only from a helium atom, if you take out electrons, we get simply helium nucleus. And the next one is, so here after Rutherford's atomic model, and generally we have to discuss about simply isotopes, the atoms of elements which have the same atomic number but the different mass number, 6012 and 6013, the same atomic number, different mass number, and the 1H1 and the 1H2 and 1H3, and these are called simply isotopes, same atomic number but different mass number. And the next one is isobars. The isobars means again here atoms of different element which have different atomic numbers but same mass number, 6C14 and 7N14, 1H3 and the 2He3. The mass number same, which are called simply isobars. Isotopes means same atomic number, different mass number. Isobars means the same mass number but different atomic number. And the next one is isotones. Isotones means same number of neutrons. Isotones means simply same number of neutrons. Yet the same mass number, same atomic number, same mass number, same number of neutrons. Same number of neutrons means the 6C14 is there and 8O16 you take. The number of neutrons, 14 minus 6, 8. Number of neutrons, 16 minus 8, 8. So therefore number of neutrons same. So therefore these two are examples of simple isotones. So like this one, isotopes, isobars, isotones, and isodiaphers. Isodiaphers, which have same number of isotopic number. Same number of isotopic number. Please remember what is isotopic number means. A minus 2Z is called isotopic number, or N minus P also isotopic number. The A is mass number, Z is atomic number. A minus 2Z. So A is simply here the mass number, Z is atomic number. Z is simply the atomic. A is mass number, Z is simply atomic number here. A is mass number, Z is here the atomic number. N is number of neutrons. P is number of protons. P is simply here the number of protons. Like this one here, isodiapher, same number of isotopic number, okay, which are called isodiaphers. For example here 9F19, 11 sodium 23. Now the first case is A minus 2Z. A minus 2Z means 19 minus 2 into 9. How much you get? 1. And the 23 minus A is 23 minus the 2 into 11 is equal to 1. Here these two have same isotopic number. Please remember what is isotopic number means. Here the A minus 2Z is called simply isotopic number. A minus 2Z is called isotopic number, or N minus 2, N minus P, both are same. Neutrons minus proton, A minus 2Z isotopic number. If you have same isotopic number, which are called simply isodiaphers. The entrance point of which of the following pair, isotopes, isobars, isotones, examples will be given. We should be able to detect whether these are isotopes or isobars or isotones or isodiaphers. Like this one, isotopes, isobars, isotones, and isodiaphers. And the next one is the Moseley's theory. Moseley's theory or Moseley's equation. That the first time the Moseley has given atomic numbers, he calculated atomic numbers, and here The formula is root nu is equal to A into clear the Z minus B. Root nu is equal to A into clear the Z minus B. Root nu is A minus Z minus B. And the nu is, so what is the nu value here means? The nu is
Of X-ray.
frequency of X-rays, frequency of X-rays emitted from an atom. A and B are constants, depend on element. This is important one. A and B depend on which one? Element. Z is atomic number. Z is atomic number. Root nu is equal to Az minus AB. Root nu is equal to Az minus AB. This of the form Y is equal to mx minus C. As this of the form Y is equal to mx plus C. Clear the minus C. And if you plot the graph here, now, which slope is there here? The positive slope is there. Here, this one is simply the positive slope is there. Intercept is, so here intercept is minus AB is intercept. So therefore, the nature, the graph is like this one we get. And the slope is the negative slope here, minus AB, minus AB. And the slope m is equal to, slope m is equal to how much? Simply the A is clear the slope. This one is root nu and this one is Z, and the slope is equal to A. The slope is A, m slope is equal to A, and intercept is minus AB, negative intercept is there. Okay, so here the minus intercept is there, and based on this one he has given the atomic numbers of here the various elements. Based on this experiment he has given various elements. Please remember this equation, you remember here, and the graph you remember here. The intercept is AB, slope is A, and the root nu versus Z is based on this one he has given atomic numbers. Okay, and the next one is the before going to the Bohr has given his atomic model. So based on the various clear the theories, and the first one is the nature of the light. Nature of the light, and actually here the light has the both particle nature and wave nature. Here the both the particle and wave nature. Here the particle nature could explain the few properties and the wave nature could explain clear the few properties. So that's why later dual nature is given. But the nature of the light, the electron motion is just like here, the electron motion is just like uh, electron motion and light both are same only. So that's why we have to discuss about the nature of the light, both particle nature and wave nature. Okay, and in lower class you have studied the Newton corpuscular theory. The light propagates in the form of small packets, small particles which are called corpuscles, and later, and the wave nature also given to the light. Here the light propagates in the form of small packets, that is called particle nature. In the same way, in the form of simply waves also. Like this one, the both particle and wave nature. In the wave nature, first we'll discuss about simply here the wave nature of the light. This is very simple and important one here. The wave nature of the light. The light propagates in the form of simply the electromagnetic wave. The electromagnetic wave means, so it has both electric component and magnetic component. Like this one, the electromagnetic wave means it has both electric component and next one is simply the magnetic component like this. And the next one is, this is electric component, and the next one the magnetic component will be like this one, that these two are the mutually perpendicular to each other. These two are the mutually the perpendicular to each other. And this is direction of propagation of light. Light is propagating in this direction. And this electric component, this is the magnetic component. These three are mutually perpendicular to each other. Please remember here, one is direction of propagation of the light, and one is magnetic component. Third one is electric component. These three are mutually perpendicular to each other. And the next one is, as it is electromagnetic radiation, do not require any material medium. So no material medium is needed. Even it can pass through vacuum also. No material medium is needed. No material medium is needed. It can pass through even vacuum also. It can pass through even the vacuum also. And next one is, if we take the characteristics of, if you take the characteristics of the wave, the first one is the amplitude. The first one is clear the amplitude. So maximum displacement of a particle from its position is called simply clear the amplitude. This is clear the amplitude. And the next one is in the downward direction also amplitude. The first one is the amplitude. The amplitude can be clear the plus a or simply the minus a, because amplitude is a vector quantity. A is amplitude. You know what is amplitude here? The maximum displacement of a particle from its position is called amplitude. In one direction it is plus and opposite direction minus, because amplitude is a vector quantity. And the next one is the wavelength lambda. What is the wavelength lambda means? This is clear the crest, and this one is the trough. And next one again, this one is simply the crest. The distance between the two consecutive crests is called simply clear the lambda, or the distance between the two consecutive troughs also called as simply the lambda. The distance between two consecutive crests or troughs, or between any two identical points, starting of the first wave, the starting of the second wave, this is also called as simply lambda. Wavelength, the length of each wave is called simply clear the wavelength, that is simply clear the lambda.